think we'll stick on to around 10 to 11 minutes so that audience are very eager to ask a few questions. I would now request the CEO and MD of Dynamatic Technologies, Dr. Udayan Malhotra, for his share for the next 10 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that was very encouraging and special. 130,000 employees. Only in Karnataka could you have had that resilience. May I request for my slides to come up, please? So, while they come, oops, okay. So that's the company I represent. It's called Dynamatic Technologies Limited. We are a aerospace and defense manufacturer. We produce products for the Indian military and also for global majors. So this was a particularly difficult business to manage through this period because you see, you're down in India, you're surrounded by all our major institutions. You have a incredible runway for growth of globalization, and suddenly you're hit with this pandemic. But you see, our business itself, being in Bangalore, is very digital, which you can run during a lockdown digitally. But when you talk about manufacturing products, you need to have thousands of the workers visiting and being on the shop floor and managing it. More importantly, internationally, we're a sole supplier to Boeing and Bell Helicopter, Airbus, and there was a great risk that if we shut down, we would shut down these global lines. These were international industries that were protected in their countries as critical and essential infrastructure. So I'll just show you a small video which shows you the kind of work that's done. So every single Airbus made is made with these flat track beam assemblies produced in Bangalore. Every Chinook, all the P8s, the F-15s, all the Bell 407 helicopters in the world, the entire cabin, the whole fuselage is made in Bangalore. So with that, if we had shut down, we would have actually devastated these industries and we would have caused lasting damage to the Make in India campaign and brand. And this is really where we're very fortunate to be in Bangalore, where you have such a collaborative, approach between business, between industry, and between academia. So, in fact, I'd like to recognize Srimati Gunjan Krishna, who's sitting in the first row, our industries commissioner, ma'am. Thank you very much. You see her with us in the Indian Institute of Science. This is a week before the lockdown. So we were with Professor Utpal Tatu, who's the most celebrated scientist in India on coronaviruses, trying to understand what could be mitigations and how we could test for these things. And then on the 25th, there was a lockdown. So as Louis Pasteur said, chance favors the prepared mind. On the 1st of April itself, the government of Karnataka, ma'am, thank you very much for your entire advocacy, but the entire government machinery moved and we had approval to open all defense and manufacturing of aerospace products as an essential service. And that meant the entire industry, not just one company, but something like 350 companies. And what we promised was that we would have safety. So we developed these protocols with the Indian Institute of Science so that we could run during the COVID period. And a lot of what was being shared by the government of India, they were actually getting data, real life data from our facilities and companies like ours. We set up COVID testing with RT-PCR from March itself. And then we went out and we vaccinated the entire supply chain, something like 16,000 people, because it was not just the workforce in our company and the supply chain, but also their families. You have to remember 2 years ago, we were also paranoid. So a lot of the paranoia exists in the mind. We sterilized all incoming all outgoing materials. So even our customers were happy that they were getting completely sanitized products. And we used all kinds of things, HEPA filters in our factories, UV lights, plasma cluster technology for the air, and of course, we had a protected workforce. Very recently, Airbus instituted its first Global Sustainability Award, which is now an annual award. Last year, we won the first Global Sustainability Award for this work. And again, this couldn't have been a company, it was the entire ecosystem here. And with this, Boeing also spotlighted us as their most resilient supplier. So one has 12,000 suppliers, one has 11,000 suppliers across the world. And an Indian company out of Bangalore was suddenly spotlighted. And I'm just trying to say, immediately thereafter, we got new orders. This is the first emergency escape hatch that will be built, and we'll start delivery as a sole supplier for the new A220 from March this year. From Boeing, we won the center section of the F-15EX. So, this kind of good behavior, the good performance that the entire ecosystem of Bangalore, remember when we supply, we have about 200 SMEs behind us, that has been recognized. Going forward for sustainability, what's really important is the ecosystem of workforce. So we adopted the ITI at Devanali. We work with 55 Gram Sabhas in North Bangalore, and we get the children of artisans, karigars from these villages. They are landless, highly skilled youngsters. They're not the rich farmers who've made a lot of money because their land values have gone up, but they're trained and they become aerospace workers, and they're the highest paid blue collar workers in the state. So this really brings a workforce from our rural hinterland into the global workforce. And I'd just like to close with this slide. Let me go back. We had just one thing. This is the state, the resilient state, and we're very proud to be here. Thank you very much.